Alright guys, what's going on? Today is a wonderfully beautiful day, and unfortunately I'm going to work. Just normally what happens in my life. Anytime there's a wonderful day out, I spend it at work. And we are, what the fuck? Damn it. I'm back on the Yamaha, actually for the first time in 2 weeks. Spending a lot of time on the Honda. Actually, it's kind of what I wanted to make the video about today. Now that I've had the Honda for a little while, I can actually kind of do a comparison between the two, and my other video showed, or had, that I bought the Honda, which, if you guys haven't seen it, I bought a Honda CBR 600RR. This is my Yamaha fz07. The Honda's an 06. This is 2015. This is brand new. Haven't even done my first service on it yet. And now that I've been riding both for a while, I can kind of do a comparison between the both and see which one I really like better. There's definitely a lot of differences between the both, but I can honestly say, unfortunately, I'm in love with the Honda CBR, and this has just kind of fallen by the wayside. You know, I originally bought the Honda just to be a project, and just kind of do some work on, go out, have some fun on, maybe take it to a track day or something like that. And then the Yamaha would stay as my kind of, you know, everyday riding bike, riding around Atlanta and that kind of stuff. But I enjoy riding the Honda so much that since I've gotten it, this is actually the first time I've taken the Yamaha out since I've bought the Honda. And I don't want you guys to in any way think that I do not like my fz07. I do like it. It's a fun little bike. And it was an awesome bike to kind of start on and learn on and everything. But it's not what I want long term. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling where, you know, you have one thing, but then you try something out, and as soon as the Honda, as soon as I got on it, after about 5 minutes of riding it around, it was like, oh yeah, this feels good. This feels like what I want. And that's how I initially felt on the Yamaha, but I think the Yamaha was just more because I'd never ridden a bike before, you know, the kind of upright seated position. You know, it was really easy, really light, really maneuverable. So to be a first bike, that was perfect. I just wish I'd bought something like this that didn't cost as much money as it did. And, you know, I was hoping, obviously, that this was going to be a bike that I was going to keep for a long time. And, you know, it's got plenty of power. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the bike in any way. I do really like this bike. But that's the problem, is I really like this bike. I love my Honda. And it's nothing against Yamaha, or, you know, I'm not saying Honda's better than Yamaha or anything like that. You know, I haven't gotten to ride an R6. I haven't gotten to ride a Gixxer 600 or anything like that. I think it's just generally, I really love the feel and the ride of a super sport versus the naked bike. You know, I live in Atlanta. I spend a lot of time on the highway. And, you know, if I lived actually in the city, that might be one thing. Unfortunately, I do not. Well, not unfortunately. I don't want to live in the city. I have no desire to live in the city. I live kind of on the outskirts of Atlanta, which is what I enjoy. But at the same time, that means for me to go anywhere normally means I'm getting on the highway. And I'm having to average speeds. You know, speed limits out here, 65, 70 miles per hour. Just on the regular roads, all the roads for the most part are 45 to 55 miles per hour. So, I mean, I'm kind of constantly at higher speeds on the bike. not that the fz07 can't do the higher speeds. It's just, I don't know, it's just more comfortable doing them on my CBR versus the Yamaha. So, you know, with the upright position and it being a naked bike, no windscreen, everything, and before anyone says it, yes, I knew what I was getting into when I bought this by not buying a windscreen. I just, you know, I only knew so much about bikes and didn't think it was going to make that much of a difference, but just this isn't as comfortable to ride at the speeds that I kind of normally have to do as my Honda. And on top of that, like, I have absolutely no issue with the crouched over position. One of the guys at one of the local shops, really? That I've been taking the Honda to get a little bit of the work done on it that I can't do myself. He gave me the best explanation. He told me the same thing. He was like, you know, that bike's awesome. I'm sure it's a lot of fun if you lived in the city and all that kind of stuff. But he was like, when you go out to a bar, how do you sit at the bar? And naturally, you sit with a kind of slightly leaned over position. That's just kind of what you do. Same thing with being on a super sport, is you just have that slight kind of, you know, hunched over feeling. It's not that it's uncomfortable or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, that's just more comfortable for me to ride on. This will actually be the first time that I've taken this bike on the highway since buying the new helmet. So we'll see how it feels with that. But yeah, after getting on this guy today, it just doesn't do it for me. Like, the entire time I'm on this, I was on it for 30, 45 minutes earlier, and knowing that I was going to, you know, ride the bike into work today, the entire time I was like, do I want to go back and get the Honda and take the Honda to work? Or should I just take the FC? And I said, fuck it, I'm going to stay on the FC for now and give it a full day of riding around and all that kind of stuff, but it's still just, I don't know, doesn't do it for me. Like I said, still a fun bike. Really like the bike. Just love my other bike. So, we'll see what happens. Now the problem arises is, do I want to try and sell this and probably take a massive loss, or kind of hang on to it for now and see what happens? I've already put a decent amount of work into this bike. And when I bought it, I decided I was just going to go ahead and kind of pay for everything. Like, the maintenance is already paid for on it. The warranty is already paid for on it. All that could be transferred over. But I have a feeling it's going to be a little difficult to find someone that not only wants to buy a brand new bike, but wants to spend extra money on the warranty and the maintenance package and all that kind of stuff, which I bought it because essentially I don't have to spend a dime on this bike outside of the aftermarket stuff that I was doing to it. I don't have to spend any money on this bike for maintenance or anything like that until, I think, 60,000 miles, something along those lines. But we'll see what happens. It's actually not that bad being on the highway with this helmet on this bike now. Before, using the other helmet, so it wasn't quite as exciting as I was hoping it to be. My other helmet, by the way, was a Shoei Hornet, which is kind of the dual sport helmet with the visor. And that helmet just wasn't meant for the highway, unfortunately. And with how much time, like I said, just to go to work, I have to get on the highway. Not that far, but it still took away from the enjoyment of riding. So, yeah, guys, we'll see what happens. I'm fairly early for work. I'm just going to plan on going down towards work and riding around. Getting to spend some time on my Yamaha before I figure out exactly what my plan is with it. So, who knows? I guess we'll find out in some of the upcoming videos whether you see me on my Yamaha or see me on the Honda. This is not exactly the spot I want to be in. Then, same thing. It's not that this bike lacks in power. It has plenty of power, but I don't know. It's another one of those things that I prefer about the Honda than I do over this guy. Like I said, I don't want anyone to think that this is in any way a bad bike whatsoever, because it's not. This is an awesome bike. And if I had never bought the Honda, I'm sure that I wouldn't have any problem keeping this bike and wouldn't even be talking about getting rid of it. But because I bought the other bike, now I have the dilemma. Oh well. Guess that's a bad problem to have, right? Having to decide between two bikes that I own, as opposed to not having any at all. And I mean, also it's not like I'm not making payments on this bike. I bought this bike flat out. Everything's already paid for, so essentially no matter what I do, I already know that I'm going to be taking a loss on it, but just trying to figure out a way to minimize that loss. So we shall see. Yeah, I'm on my way down to work. I'm going to listen to some music and ride around. Figure it out. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you guys are getting to enjoy some wonderful weather. I wish I wasn't going into work right now, but unfortunately, that's what I got to do. So yeah, you guys have a great day. I will see you guys later. We'll have to see which bike it's on. Take it easy, guys.